Hello everyone, welcome to this video discussing some more of my favorite shapes. My last video was quite popular, a lot of people liked it, and so I thought let's continue on that route and talk more about some of the shapes that I use in improvisation. Because, like I said in that video, I really believe in starting to learn shapes when you want to start with improvisation. And to be honest, I've been doing it for a while, but I still use those shapes, right? Of course, I combine them with other concepts, other ideas, but those shapes are the foundation of my navigating around the fretboard. So let's look at some really handy shapes for dominant chords. And of course, I've made many videos already with talking about diminished arpeggios and talking about minor six, and they will be in this video as well. But the point of this video is to talk about playing dominants without creating an altered sound, right? So I made videos with the Phrygian dominant scale and the altered scale. I will link those videos in the description. But now I want to talk about how to express a 7 chord, a dominant chord, without creating this overly altered sound. And that's an important part of playing swing music, of playing gypsy jazz, and it's something that you hear all the time in Django's playing, but also in people like Stochelo or Paul de Schaefer, or when you listen to me play. That's a lot of the sounds I try to play on dominant chords are non-altered. So let's go back to the guitar neck and let's take a look. So today I'm just going to focus around for phrases around the root of the chord, or with my hand or my first finger on the root on the high E string or low E string, same note. This is C. So I'm talking about C7. Right, so I have more shapes around the third and the fifth, the E and the C, but I'll save that for next video. So today, let's talk about the root. There's a lot of stuff we can do. So the first thing we should learn is to play a C7 arpeggio. And you can think about the notes, but here's the shape. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's very easy to play it. It's kind of made to be played here because it just lies so easily on the fingers. Now, we don't want to be playing just this arpeggio, so I call it out filling out the arpeggio or adding some notes to make it more appealing. So in front of it, we're gonna play like it says in the tab. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So now we're not gonna play this arpeggio up, right? We're not gonna play the same arpeggio up. I never do that. Of course, you could practice that, but it's nothing more boring than playing the same arpeggio up and down. So up, we're gonna play a diminished arpeggio, and you will see it on the screen in the tab. If you want to know more about diminished shapes, check out the video about that. It's linked in the description. So we're gonna play a C note, embellished, and then we're gonna play a diminished arpeggio starting on the E and ending back on the C. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So those two shapes combined sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that would be your starting point, experimenting with these two shapes and try to come up with your own rhythmic variations, right? You don't have to change the notes, but you could maybe play some of the notes in quarter notes, some eighth, maybe some triplets. So you get maybe stuff like, okay, that's C7. Right? Just be creative with it and see what you can come up with. Okay, let's learn two more shapes, or actually it's 2 shapes. So it's a minor 6 arpeggio, and if you follow my channel, you already know this shape, and if not, I will link a video in the description about minor 6. It's G minor 6, but we're only gonna play it until the E, and before the shape we're gonna play CB, 2 chromatic notes. So we get 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, or actually it's, so there's, we're playing to the E, but we're gonna play the D also, and then back to the E. Now there's 2 options. We can just go back up with the same arpeggio. Right, but as I said before, I like playing something else. So here's the something else. We're gonna go to the E with the first finger, and we're gonna play this shape, which is also a minor 6, but we're gonna play it in triplets. And we end up back to the high D. So. It's the same note, it's still a minor 6, but the shape is different, and this shape is very easy to play with triplets. So we start the triplets on the G. And we're back in position for the first shape. You see, so they all connect. So this will be the basis 4 shapes to play around C7. So you could mess around with that. You could take a song like Sweet Georgia Brown, which starts on E7, and just, so of course then we go with our first finger to the root on the high E string, and then yeah, and then the next chord is A7. D7. Okay, but now let's add some more to it, some spice. And this is what I call 3-2-1 patterns, which just means that you use 3 fingers and you play repeating patterns of 3-2-1. 3-2-1, 3-2-1. So there's 2 we can play on C7 in this position. The first one is this one. And you can be creative with these patterns and change the rhythms or change the order, and you can repeat them endlessly. You can mix and match, change the order, and then you combine that with your C7 arpeggio, for instance. So I played half of it. So instead of going on, I stopped here, which is part of the 3-2-1, and then went into my 3-2-1 patterns. And then when you want to break out of it, you just go back to your C7 arpeggio. Like that. Very convenient, and you can fill long stretches of dominant chords this way. So one tip for you is when you play those 3-2-1 patterns, make sure that the last note is well articulated, because it's very easy to swallow that. And then it kind of, you lose the time, you lose the effect of these 3-2-1 patterns. Now, there's one more thing you should know. It's not in the tab, but after you play this B flat on the D string, there's this trick of hitting fret 9 on the B string and bend it. So you bend the G sharp to an A, so you get this sound. And you resolve it to a G. So you can throw it in too. So this combined. Okay, next 3-2-1 pattern would be starting on the low B flat. On the low C. So that's fret 8 on the low E string, and then we get same on the A string, 1 fret higher. Same on the D string, 1 fret higher still, and you can repeat that. Now I play them as triplets, also possible. 3, 4. Or as eighth notes. Now notice that the last 3-2-1 is connects to our first 3-2-1 pattern. So you can connect them, but I see them as two different patterns because I can hang on those low 3. Hang on the top ones. And also the low one connects very well to the -6. And also the low one connects to this triplet pattern up. If you play two of them. Okay, so these are all the shapes I want to talk about. And there's a lot of music inside of these shapes. You can do so many things. Maybe you can find some pattern inside them, maybe some more chromatic notes that I didn't talk about, but it's not necessary. You can even just use only these shapes and create a lot of music. For instance, a song that I'm thinking of is like Limehouse Blues, which starts C7, 4 bars, and it goes to A7. So you start your solo 1, 2, 3, 4. A7. Right? Or maybe you start here. As Dennis Chang would say, it sounds just like gypsy jazz, and it really does. And of course, you don't have to use it strictly on long dominant chords. Just you take a standard like maybe like All of Me. So start C. Now we get E7, A7, D minor, E7 again, D7, G7. Well, that's kind of a jump down, or go here. Right, so of course now you have to jump now because we only talked about positions around the root, and next videos I will talk about positions around the 5th and the 3rd, so then you don't have to jump that much. But start here. This is one of the most used devices employed by gypsy jazz guitar players to kind of express a non-altered sound on a dominant, even though there's this diminished which has the flat 9. But because that's the only note that's kind of altered, and all the other stuff is either chromatic or non-altered. This creates a non-altered sound. So a low tension sound, but a beautiful, sweet sound. That was it for this video. I hope you'll explore these shapes, and I'll be back with another video with some more shapes. Until then, bye.